Hello guys, and welcome back to Field of Glory Empires with our Saba playthrough. We have just finished constructing Arabia Felix after a war with Arabia. To our north, the Antagonids are getting their butts beaten. Our allies now, they offered to become our allies last episode of Ethiopia, still fighting Nubia. We're not in that war. I don't actually care to get involved in it either. And now we must move on to bigger and better things. So we do need to recover from combat, but I do believe the next move of expansion I'm going to make is to go into Arabia Orientalis here. Just directly, avoiding Saracena for right now. Because I don't want to have part of their border, or they're going to get more objectives against me and definitely come after me. So what I'm going to try to do is go this way into Arabia Orientalis and then up here before they get to it, so I can fully construct Arabia Orientalis. Most of this is shitty, empty desert that's not worth anything. So, it's blockaded? What the fuck? That just means there's a navy there. There's probably more value over in Abyssinia Minor. The thing is, so long as these two nations are fighting, there's absolutely no risk of me losing this. And I don't mind Ethiopia getting stuff anyway. If I look at the trade good overlay, yeah, there's like sulfur over here. There's some amber. I know amber's very rare, I'm pretty sure. And meanwhile, we're looking at what? There's some naphtha, coral, there's some frankincense, a lot of dates and olive oil in the desert. I don't know that any of these really stand above the other, except that I think amber's rare. But I know these other resources are pretty decent, and I do need some of them. This area just isn't great in general for resources. I mean, go compare, like, you know, Greece and Rome and other places, but I'm sure we could develop something out of it. It's shitty, but, you know, this is the start I picked. We have a lot of excess food over here now, so we're going to go that way. We did take this over, and now one of them was sent over here as a slave, I believe. Yes. Himjar received a slave. And we have all of them on infrastructure right now, just building. They also finished building, I believe, what was it? A ranch for more food. Well, that's good. That's good. Mercenary Recruitment Center. I still don't have that. I don't know that I need it, though. I could build... I've never built a monument, ever. We only have one building slot remaining here. Growth is in 2 turns, though. We do have stone that can be imported for this quarry, but that will hurt. That will hurt. We at least have the wheelmaker here. Like, I would want health before I really try to do that. I would. We could build a farm here that has access to wool and cattle nearby. That I think is just all in our... Well, I mean... Might be all here. Wool and... Oh, yeah, it's just all right here. So we could build a farm to make even more food out of like infrastructure and both of those. Like that's kind of what we would need here is a farm. The only downside is we're going to hit the cap very quickly. And then what's the rest of this infrastructure good for? Not necessarily a whole lot. Not necessarily. So I could try to go slotless, right? And build the monument for now. Takes a little bit of infrastructure. Increases our decadence, which isn't great. But the culture should essentially make up for it. Maybe, right? I don't know. It could be upgraded. No, it can't. You know, it's just a slotless source of culture, I suppose. What it definitely helps... Yeah, culture over time, some decadence. But what it's definitely good for over time is getting culture in a region specifically, which can add to our legacy points. So I'm kind of back and forth on these. If you have no slots, you're not allowed to build in general. So I can't do the farm first, is the downside. Well, let's go ahead and build the monument. I've never built a monument, but we're doing pretty well on progress decadence. We have a lot of culture coming in. And hey, we finished the temple in Saba. Nice. Well, we want to build something else new then. We still have 1 slot, only 1 slot, sadly. This would be a good time to get some clear water, finally, right? We could build a crafter district as well, which adds to money, and a commerce bonus. Either of these would be pretty good. For further growth, I think it's the clear water that matters the most. We are pretty good on money right now anyway. And then there's an Oration Tribune, which wouldn't be terrible. Our loyalty is very high already here anyway, even without any troops present. So that's pretty nice. And so I think I'll go with the clear water for right now. Yeah, I think I'll go with the clear water to try to get a little bit of a health bonus. Down here, we did finish building some clear water, so we need to build something else now. We don't really need archery. We need other things. I kind of made the capital like my military hub, and so that kind of just takes care of itself. I could go for more food, for more health and manpower. Both of these would kind of accomplish the same thing. I could go for the theater. We only have that one building slot. That might change with this upcoming pop. Or I could go with the crafter district, which will make some money and commerce income, you know, won't consume a slot. I think I'll take the slotless bonus here. Now, moving down, eventually I'm going to have to automate building, like once we get big enough, but for now, I'm small enough that I think I should be min-maxing. We already have a theater here. We do not have the culture or the worship palace. This would provide a fuck ton of culture. It would provide, what did we just build here? We just built we just built the theater too, that's funny. Could also go with clear water or a farm. Yeah, got a lot of options here. Culture's always pretty great. I would like some more loyalty here. I would. Well, you know, we have a lot of things. Let's go ahead and build the worship palace. Especially because I'm doing so much expansion as well. This could come in handy. Now. On our new border location of Bodea, we already have the city walls set up. We have a decent spread of things. A gambling ring, loyalty, and taxation bonus. But adds to decadence. Ooh, we don't have a slave market here yet. That could help. Adds to decadence, right? But that could help with like acquiring slaves and bringing population and whatnot. Yeah. In the long run. This doesn't always pop up, which is why I try to get it when I can. Sure, let's add the slave market there. On this new location, we could build something. I'm just going to do the public works as per usual, starting from scratch. And there you go. And so we're moving over here to prepare for going into Arabia Orientalis. Our manpower generation is still not amazing. I'm still unsure of if slaves add to manpower or not. It doesn't really provide very much information. Just some is from structures. Some is from population in general. I feel like it does not come from slaves, but it's fine. Now, I would like to get a new stack coming up. However, affording that in terms of manpower usage over time would be rough. With each Camelier taking 3 over time by itself, each Skirmisher taking 3, each regular infantry taking 4, you see why plus 15 is not necessarily enough yet. Even building a fleet would take manpower that we don't have the income of. It's all about maintenance right now. And so for now, hopefully we won't need it too soon. Hopefully. We can build stuff pretty quick now that we have this full province, though. For now, though, I think we'll just kind of continue as is and just try to expand into this nearby desert in the meantime. I'm not going to touch any decisions like the slave market until later. Just build up my money for right now. Let's go ahead and end turn and see what happens. There's some battling happening over here. Nubia conquered this. Why did they conquer it, though? I don't understand. Is the war over? Did they stop? Rome has passed us, or tied with us on the ranking. Is that war no longer active? The dam burst again? Really? That's really annoying. Oh well. And old age. One of our generals retired from active duty. Not that we were necessarily using that one. No. Ordered a military triumph to honor him. I'm not sure what that affects or where, honestly. But, okay. Is it like a province-wide effect or something? Not that I can tell. So, let's see. Is this war still going? It is. I don't know why sometimes you can conquer things, like, immediately. And why sometimes it's just occupied. I've been seeing that back and forth in this war. Damn, that's a big army. You better move or you're going to get your ass beat. That part I still don't understand, though. I don't understand why they can just sometimes claim things. Wow, this construction sped up. City walls have been completed here. That's good. That's nice. We still don't even have a public works. I think what we could really use is some more food, though. My only real option for that is a hemp field, which produces hemp. Missing bonus of money from tar. We already have hemp, apparently. And then the salt house, which needs salt, but we can import it. However, I don't want to rely on them. I think I'd rather get the hemp field here. We kind of really could use some more food production here. We have plenty of infrastructure already. And we have enough building slots to be a little expansive with it. New pop has been grown here. Not changing anything there. We only have citizens over here. We have... Oof, that's a little rough, buddy. We'll probably just leave that as is for right now. Let it construct what it's constructing. And a new population's been grown here. It's looking pretty decent. I'm going to move one to culture so that we get some culture production here finally. We don't actually have any culture production there presently. The capital is full for now on what it can build. I think it'll just accumulate the infrastructure for right now. We kind of need the infrastructure production no matter what to keep that dam happy. It's burst twice recently, which is kind of annoying. But hey man, it is what it is. It's the downside to the dam. Damn. A clay pit produces stone. Requires a tracker better. That's pretty nice. It lowers health though. Or a monument to trade culture for decadence. We do have 2 slots available here. I could also go for food. Food is definitely something I think I could use more of in this location. I could get a shepherd's house. There's also the smokehouse, which needs cattle that can be imported. But we're not missing anything. It also consumes some money, but it also gives a bunch of health as well. That would be more constructive for the slot, but I think I might just focus the shepherd house because we have some extra slots anyway. 5 more food would be nice. Let's go ahead and get that. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, that's right, we built clear water here. The reason why we don't have a building slot now is because a population died. That would make sense, yeah. Well, everything is building now, and I think everybody is all healed up. Not entirely, this warrior's missing a hit for some reason. However, I don't know. I think I might just send them in anyway. What? Just the warrior? That's like the guy I value the least. Missing a single hit. That could be fine. That could be more than fine to start expanding. Because I'm kind of in a rush to get here before they get here. So let's go ahead and let's order the advance anyway. And then at some point we might have to like retreat. This all isn't even necessarily always available to move into because sometimes the desert becomes scorched. Regardless, for now we'll move in. At the very least, for now we'll move in. And you, Arabia, we have 4 more turns of guaranteed peace with you. I would love it if you went to war with someone else. Palmyra wasn't here earlier. The Antigonids are getting their asses beat, and I think some nations are getting like released from them. They're getting completely eaten away though. They're gonna disappear. Not really our problem in that case. Manpower generation is going up. That's pretty nice. That makes me happy. In the meantime, let's go ahead and just end our turn. Moving into turn 32. I guess I could see the weather. Fair weather. But is that just like global? And this is probably a slam dunk, but you know, let's see it. Lots of damage with our skirmishing. Heavy infantry making quick work of their enemy warriors. Our regular infantry is going to make quick work of basically every skirmisher that comes up against us. Because we're in the desert too. Well, we both have the desertman bonuses. They might have it more than we do. Here's our exhausted warriors. Yeah, they did the best. Not exhausted, I guess, but they weren't able to have 2 hits in. So naturally, they didn't do as well. They did the worst. A pursuit, wipe out the rest of them, and there you go. Saba won the battle. We did it, boys. We've moved into Arabia Orientalis. Well, I'm number 3 on legacy points again, staying a little bit ahead of Rome. We conquered it. That looks good. Looks like we've received a slave down here from the battle. We have, yes. Let me put that on infrastructure, I suppose. I feel like I need to swap these eventually. Because we just have so much infrastructure and not really enough production of other things. And we were raided. The interlopers were soundly defeated, though. That's good. That helps. Probably our city walls assisted that. That's really nice. Completed a hemp field over in Mathanit. And what do we want to build now? We only have 1 slot remaining. I could throw in a monument. That could do it. Oh man, getting this would be pretty nice. The harbor, that's another source of manpower. We still don't have a public works here. It could be a decent time to get that. Sure, we just added the hemp field. We have more food production now. Let's go ahead and go for the public works next. We do have public works here now, which is good. It's going to help me with building. I can easily go for more food or import some stone or get a slave market. All of these things do sound pretty nice. The slave market doesn't pop up as frequently, so let's go for the slave market. Now our capital, we can build stuff again. That's nice. A siege workshop. Wow. Words cannot express how much I want this. Words cannot express how much I want this. Provide extra siege engines during a siege. Okay. Does this let me make siege units? That's one thing I don't know. Produces a fuck ton of equipment, which is great for recruiting stuff. Maybe... Oh, it can't be upgraded. Because I would love to be able to recruit large siege engines. It says it's not part of my recruitment pool. But I see it, so theoretically I could eventually make it from something, right? Well, it adds a pretty hefty garrison, that's for sure. Though I'm not sure if it's really worth it. I mostly want to create siege equipment. Doesn't read like this will do it. And so it doesn't necessarily fill what I want from it. The garrison here is already pretty hefty, and we still don't have a fucking wall. So there's not even going to be a siege. How can there be a siege if we don't have a wall? So maybe that can wait. We could go all in on a noble district. We can get culture from different resources that we don't really have, though. A lot of decadence, so that doesn't really seem worth it. Mostly for the loyalty, but really probably not worth it. A trading post for money or a ranch for food could be potentially pretty nice. Either of these, really. This place is not actually super positive on money, so I think we'll go for the trading post. I did grow a new citizen. Let's go put him on infrastructure, I suppose. And then looking down... Well, let's look at this. New population. Next few months will be harsh for men and crops. Shepherd House has been built here, so we have a little bit more food production here. We don't have regional roads. Well, of course we don't. Well, we could build regional roads here. There's no cattle here, and no ability to import it here, unfortunately. What's a preceptor house? That needs papyrus, training grounds we don't really care about. Pottery! I've never really seen pottery before. It produces pottery. I've never seen anything that needs pottery either. I don't really need the roads, but it doesn't consume a slot, and so I think I'll just go ahead and make it, quite frankly. A worship house has been made here, but now we are out of slots here, unfortunately. I'm going to move this citizen over to food. I don't even know why he was over on infrastructure to begin with. But I'm going to move him to food to try to speed up growth any little bit that I can. And we received, yeah, that's right, a slave over here. And everything else looks fine. Everything else is building now. Now we have this, got to move that there. And, well, it's a new location, so we actually just cannot build anything. So for now, there's not necessarily a purpose to building anything or getting anything started. Well, unfortunately. Our troops here could use a little bit of recovery, but the food, well, there's enough food here for now. I could move, I could wait. I might wait at the expense of this location just because I want to go attack this as quickly as possible. But we conquered this. A new general is available. That doesn't matter to me right now. And still a good 10 turns before I need to make any decisions. Arabia has been expanding north, it seems. They pushed pretty far into Nabatea and kind of just, you know, solidifying their rule over here. If we get raided out here eventually, that's not going to be too great, unfortunately. If they raid Nabatea, they might find themselves at war with Egypt, and honestly, I don't really know that they could handle that. Sort by land power. Again, Egypt over here now has 150 land power. My land power is higher? What is this taking into account? Because I haven't expanded. It might account for, like, garrisons as well. Maybe. Arabia has 90. They're getting stronger. They could at least annoy Egypt, especially if Egypt is distracted. But mostly they're going to annoy me. So, At some point, we do need to get some income of metal, because that's going to be really tough for, like, building up our units. Like, I'm going to be still pretty reliant on regular infantry and not heavy infantry, just because of that alone. Especially Cameliers might be hard to get as well. But for now, let's go ahead and hit end turn. Move it on into the next year. I see some fighting over in Ethiopia. That big stack arrived, but there's a big stack waiting for it, maybe? No, they kind of moved around. But that would be a siege anyway. Still staying ahead of Rome, just barely. That's nice. I think they might have fought. I actually can't really see any previews, honestly. This doesn't look too good for the Ethiopians, honestly. They might get their asses beat here a little bit. They might. Badeo saw a mighty invasion by Arabia. Crushing the local militia, pillaging and murders followed. Oh. Well, that's not good. Guess that's like a successful raid that happened. That's unfortunate. That's really sad. Raided, yeah. Well, no interest of pillagers. We're debuffed, but it doesn't look like they'll try again for 5 more turns. That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. We got another new pop over here. Barely maintaining the food that we need. I would, I guess, want to focus the essentials. And the essentials would mean something like a shepherd house. So let's build that. Over here, we could build something where we just got raided. I don't think there's, well, no, there's like siege resist, but I don't think that resists against raids, right? But the manpower from this is probably exactly what I need, and I don't feel like putting this off anymore. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I'd say so. And let's go ahead and get some more manpower from a harbor. I like how those create manpower. I have a good access to them. A monument's been made. We still only have 1 building slot down here in Himjar. And what are our options? We could use more loyalty. The Tribune would be nice from that, but it's a little costly for what it gives us. A charcoal pile, which would use lumber. I could get clean water to try to speed up the growth of citizens. That would be pretty nice. A granary. That would add some siege resist, though I don't think this will come under any siege. And an armorer. I don't really know what the armorer does. It gives equipment, I guess, can be upgraded to an armor smith. That doesn't seem like something we need here for the moment. Let's make some clean water. We have plenty of infrastructure here. Moving down to Homorate. Ooh. What is this? A bonus of XP to elephants. Now, this is one of the places that can actually make elephants. So, this couldn't really be built anywhere else. And it does produce ivory. It's a national wonder. That's interesting. I've never seen this pop up before, so I actually kind of want it. We're good enough on food and other things. Sure. I don't usually build military buildings. Let's go ahead and get that. It's going to stop us from building stuff for a little bit, though, once it is built. Until we get more population here. Which a new pop was just produced. I'm going to go for that, because I've just never seen it pop up before. And maybe getting ivory would actually be pretty useful. Do still have another building slot here. We don't have a monument or anything like that here. A marble vein. Wow. I've never seen this pop up, and we do need marble. 2 nearby structures would produce more if we made it. That's going to take the slot, like, immediately, though. And we know we're not going to grow anymore for a while afterwards. Ooh, that's tough. Like, do I go for the monument now? Or do I go for the vein? That's a really tough one. The marble would generate more culture all by itself, spread out, while giving infrastructure and, you know, this new resource. I think I'm going to go for the marble vein while I have it available. Over here, there's still no ability to make stuff. Unfortunately, we are burning through the food here, but our hits and effectiveness looks good. So let's go ahead and claim this new location. Defending it is going to be kind of a bitch, honestly. But we just need to grow some more food. The pop growth doesn't look like it's going to go very well. Might be accounting for the army being out here. I'm not really sure. But for now, it's not really a problem for us. And so we are going to proceed. Damn, the decadence this place produces is not really worth it for what it has. It's still under pacification, so that's probably a thing that needs to go away for us to really benefit. Our ruler's health has degraded to good. That makes sense. Some time is going on. We're over 1,000 money again, which is nice. 9 turns remaining on that slave market. And by this point, our forced peace should end soon. No, it says we still have 2 turns on it. I feel like that just hasn't changed. But we're going to end turn. Move into the next turn. We're amassing resources, but our income of these resources isn't changing very much. Let's view this battle. They have some warriors. Their skirmishing, of course, not as good as ours. And it seems like, oh hey, they survived. Yeah, because skirmishing type units, including like Cameliers, can evade damage. These guys just ate it. The warriors just ate it. We're still dealing way more damage than we're taking, of course. And at that point, we have a good pursuit. I noticed the flanking units don't really attack the ones in the middle, which is interesting. I wonder if that's because like enough damage has been done already or what. But hey, we took this over. Everything else we need to take would be a lot easier to figure out. We're still very high on the culture decadence ranking. That's good. We want to stay there. That helps keep us very stable. It's very good that we are there. That's why I'm still focusing culture, for example. And now we don't really need to be here. We don't really need to be, because we're not expecting them to really do anything else over there. There's still all of this to take over in Arabia Orientalis, but the food is not really going to support us out here. Growth is now reduced to 15 turns over here. Oh my god. That's not great. And these options also haven't really changed. Yeah, they haven't really changed. I'll go ahead and just like set something to produce, even if nothing will. Even if nothing will. Just like the most logical thing. Damn, I'd love that guard tower. We don't have the infrastructure base for it though. A slave was sent somewhere else. Our ruler has now degraded to fair health. Wow, his health is degrading pretty rapidly. That's not too amazing. But over here, we finished building some clear water. We have 2 building slots. And I can upgrade skirmisher stuff. An expert stonecutter. I don't have this, but we are building something that would benefit from it. So that could be nice. I don't know what a usurer is. Maybe it's like an insurer. It hurts loyalty, ups commerce. I feel like eventually you might want that. Eventually. But I'm not sure. We could get the smokehouse. We have the local cattle. That could definitely help with pop growth as well in this region. And that might be one of the better things to get, especially if we have local cattle. With this slave here, you know, I think I'm going to move this slave to infrastructure, maybe. Keep the citizens on this. And yeah, let's add to food and health to help with pop growth here. Get the smokehouse. That seems good enough. And everywhere else, oh, not everywhere else, is building stuff, I was going to say. A palisade. Is it necessary? No. But I will get it if it rears its beautiful face. A palisade? Same thing for here. If I can get it, I'll get it. And what finished building here? It was the public works. And so, how do we replace this? Well, the salt mine would be useful for a multitude of reasons. A multitude of reasons. There's a lot of things that I would want here, honestly. But that salt mine would be great, because we don't have any salt. So I think I'll go ahead and get the salt mine. Now, there's no way for our army to really get all the way down here in one turn or anything. So what I think I'll do is I'll have him just start moving back towards the capital for now. Just to get him in a better position. Try to get him away from the food that belongs to everybody else. I conquered that. Yep, health degraded notification. Annoyingly, Ethiopia still doesn't have a motherfucking port, so we still can't trade. I'm still not trading with anybody. Potentially, partially, because everybody around me just, you know, doesn't like me. Nubia is not my biggest fan, and Ethiopia might be the losing side in this war, as it might seem, unfortunately. But maybe, if they end up liking me, but maybe not doing too well, potentially we could somehow eventually get them to become a client state. I'm not really sure. I might need to like give them a bunch of money for that, for example, but regardless, we are out of time for this episode. So I'm going to call this one here and we'll pick it up on the next one. So for now, thank you guys very much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.